the black-green deck piloted by Willie Adel at the Pro Tour. This is a mostly black devotion deck, and he's playing against Rob Nobles, who is running, who we've also seen win on camera, I believe.
Yeah.
And Rob is running the Colossal Gruul deck, piloted by Makihito Mahara.
God, this deck is sweet.
The red-green one?
Yeah.
It makes so much mana.
It really does, and does such sweet things with it, too.
Yeah, so Harrison last round actually won this matchup in 2 games. He was on the other, he was on our backup camera, but due to tiebreakers, is going to have to battle. Starting the tournament, I believe 7-0, but
and still has to battle.
Still has to battle.
That is rough.
Yeah, breakers took a big turn for the worse.
And we are underway here in round 10.
It looks like Rob has kept an all-green hand. He had the unfortunate thing of drawing. He drew his Elvish Mystic on turn 2.
Ah, yes, right on time.
Yeah. Has explosive start of Burning Tree Emissary into Sylvan Caryatid. Getting ahead on mana very quickly.
Yes. The speed boost. Very important.
All right, so Harrison will respond by shocking himself and casting a Scavenging Ooze on his turn.
Not too great, but at least he's on board.
Yeah, Harrison's deck tends to be the all kill spells plan. It really is a black first deck.
Yes.
The only green cards are Abrupt Decay, Reaper of the Wilds, and the Scavenging Ooze.
Yep, it's basically the mono black deck splashing those cards.
Alright, so from Rob's side, we actually see no third land. So his only play here is Elvish Mystic and pass the turn.
Unfortunate.
It's a huge opening for Harrison. Third play looks like it's going to lead for he's looking for a Lifebane Zombie, and that's going to be the play.
That's a pretty good one against the green creature deck.
Yeah, so we'll see what Rob does in response. There's not much he could do in response, so we have a Pelucranos, a Xenagos, a Nylea, and a second Pelucranos. So anything but Xenagos is fair game for Harrison.
Well, the god is indestructible.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Harrison's hand looks like it's all full of Doom. It's probably just full of Doomblade-esque spells.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the Nylea here. That said, if he's light on removal, Pelucranos is
a little scarier.
Is an absolute house.
Yeah.
Especially because Pelucranos can untap and kill the Lifebane Zombie immediately.
Yeah, that is definitely a thing. But it's also like the redundant Pelucranos. Like you can't turn him off of Pelucranos.
Right. So
you might as well take
one.
you might as well take the Nylea, and that is what happens.
Harrison does. Remember, his deck is building up toward black devotion. As you've seen his hand, he has Night Veil, Spectre, and Grey Merchant of Asphodel. So as you said, it is a black devotion deck at its core.
Yes. We saw another Burning Tree Emissary drawn for the turn for Rob, and still can't push past that. Oh, there it is. All right.
Yeah, so he can do that, and he can cast this into Xenagos or Pelucranos, and he goes for Pelucranos here.
I like it. Just get on board.
Yeah, the advantage to the Xenagos would be next turn he'd have the potential. He could actually have made all of them. He could have played Xenagos, plussed it for mana, and then played Pelucranos.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he definitely could have.
So I think it's a little bit of a misstep on his part there.
Yeah.
Unless he's worried, the Lifebane Zombie would get to attack the Xenagos there.
It would hit it down to 1, right?
No, to 0, because if he's 0, to 1, because he'd plus it to make it.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe he doesn't want to get it Hero's Downfall. I'm not sure. But the Lifebane Zombie does actually jump in front of the Burning Tree Emissary there.
Yeah, I like that play from Harrison, as it allows it gives the Scavenging Ooze food to start on.
Yes.
Which against green decks, one large Scavenging Ooze can actually just,
control a board.
Control the board by itself.
Yeah.
You see Harrison there shuffling a ultimate price to the front of his hand. He's going to go with Golgari Guildgate for the turn.
Alright, so the ultimate price is 1 Pelucranos down.
Yeah, so still 1 Xenagos and another Pelucranos to go. And that really seems to be the name of the game against these red-green Gruul decks, is that it's just how, can you grind through all their threats?
Yeah, the removal spell ratio to their creatures.
Yeah. Harrison's going to go ahead and main phase, eat that creature for the Scavenging Ooze. I'm not sure if green-red has any tricks that it cares about there. He's going to go actually get aggressive with the Scavenging Ooze.
All right. work it in there. I mean, Ooze is going to be the biggest thing on the field, assuming that the next Pelucranos dies as well.
Yeah.
So might as well get aggressive with it.
Yeah, Harrison does have the Gray Merchant in his hand, so it is possible that, you know, these if this incremental damage really could add up.
Yes. That is certainly a thing. And now Rob has the turn again, and
yeah, we'll see the draw here. Unsure. We know he has a Xenagos and a Pelucranos.
Is this turn what the last turn should have been? Nope, just another Pelucranos. All right.
All right. Yeah, he did have the option again to sneak in Xenagos there. I really liked the Xenagos that turn.
Yeah, especially with the Lightbane Zombie off the board. It's not really that threatening.
We will see. And for the draw, it looks like Harrison draw. Not sure here. He has another land in play.
Looked like another Doomblade variant.
Yeah, I think it is another ultimate price.
Some sort of terror. I don't know what these kids are calling it.
He's gonna shock for Overgrown Tomb. That puts him down to 17 life, and once again shuffles the ultimate price to the top of his hand. Looking at, okay, it's gonna be Night Veil Spectre.
All right.
You know, I kind of like the idea. If Harrison feels like he's ahead on this board, Night Veil Spectre could really start to do some damage.
Yeah, push your advantage.
All right, and that ultimate price is paid by Pelucranos. 2 Pelucranos is down, and a 3/3 Scavenging Ooze knocks Rob down to 14. Harrison will ship back. Knows about the Xenagos, doesn't know about anything else in Rob's hand.
Yeah, this is a pretty ideal situation for Harrison. Sort of run his opponent out of threats and have some, like a powerful board presence and the Gray Merchant waiting in the wings.
Yeah, so Rob's going to play a Temple of Abandon. The last card in hand actually is an Arbor Colossus right now. It's pretty good against the black-green decks. A lot of their threats, like Desecration Demon, or in this case Night Veil Spectre, are pretty soft to Arbor Colossus.
Certainly true, certainly true.
Then again, it does just die to Doomblade.
Yes.
I like that we can say that again now, dies to Doomblade, as opposed to saying, you know, now that Doomblade's
Gets
back
bounced
in the,
by Jace.
Well, now that Doomblade's back in the format, you know, that's always the term. Oh yeah, it just dies to Doomblade.
Yep. Why play creatures? Why play lands? They just get Stone Rained.
Alright, so Rob casts the Xenagos, makes a Satyr, and just passes the turn.
All right.
Now Harrison is gonna go to work. Remember that Night Veil Spectre increases his devotion to black by 3.
It should be 1.5, but it is 3.
It is yeah, it should just because it's half of a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really should just be 1.5. If you look at the number of filled black circles,
yeah, exactly.
It's not 3.
You know, resident flavor judge Ben S would, I'm confident, rule that it was 1.5.
So swing from both by Harrison. He can eat. There's the Lightbane Zombie, and it looks like both Pelucranoses are still in graveyards. There's still a lot of things for the Ooze to eat.
All right, chumping the Ooze here. Night Veil Spectre gonna get through on
Xenagos.
Xenagos,
So that means Harrison will not get to chop a card.
Yeah. Pressure on the Planeswalker a little more important to him right now, and that makes sense.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to answer every threat. Card advantage would be great. We see a second Night Veil Spectre, and you and I both know what's waiting in the wings here.
Yes.
That's so much of his life total right now. That's a drain of 8.
Gary, the traveling insurance salesman,
is whatever he's selling, you don't want to buy it. There's going to be something in the way, though. Now with the mana, Rob will be able to cast his Arbor Colossus. He also drew Garruk, Caller of Beasts here. With extra Xenagos mana, he could choose to cast that instead.
Yeah.
He could Garruk and put Arbor Colossus into play. I don't know if that accomplishes much, but well, it's really cool.
If there was only one Night Veil Spectre in play, it would accomplish a lot, but with 2 flying creatures...
Yeah, then Harrison just gets the option of which guy to kill.
Yeah.
He's 2 mana short of being able to make the sweet play of Arbor Colossus and Monster Sit. He's actually, yeah, it's 6 mana to monster the Arbor Colossus.
3, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah, he's a little short.
Oh, so close.
Remember, these red-green devotion decks are just capable of making so much mana. And Arbor Colossus really needs to be answered by Harrison here. it does monstrous to become a 9/9 and kill a Night Veil Spectre. There's not much wiggle room here, but it looks like Harrison does have the kill spell, as it's gonna get the hero's downfall.
And a Colossus is big. That is a far downfall.
Right.
And now the Night Veil Spectres are free to roam the skies once again.
Yeah, so Harrison with 2 mana up. Now the question is where he's going to attack. We know that one of the remaining cards in his hand is Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
So you got to send 1 at the Planeswalker, 1 to draw a card, and Scavenging Ooze for beatdown.
Right.
And that looks like what he's doing.
And this is huge here. It looks like Harrison's making a really strong play here. The Grey Merchant on the next turn should be able to clean this game up.
Yes. This game went pretty ideally, actually for both players. Both players' draws were fine.
Yeah, Rob stumbled a bit on his mana, and I think he could have had a little more explosive of a start. He could have snuck that Xenagos in there earlier.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
That may have made a lot of a difference too. Yeah, I mean, he would have had a lot more satyrs and more mana, and I think he might have had enough satyrs that on that turn he could have Arbor Colossus and Monstrous. But Harrison,
or at least played Garrick.
Yeah, or played Garrick.
I agree.
As it is, it's going to go ahead and get through. That gets through for 7, which will put Rob down to 7.
And he did get a land off of that as well.
Yep. He got a Stomping Ground into play, which means he can now start to play all of Rob's red spells if he hits them.
Which is sweet. And now,
as we know, he doesn't actually need any of Rob's spells, because right now his own spells are just
yeah.
They are just enough.
Gary's just chilling, just waiting.
Yeah, you see him showing it, shuffles it to the front. Make sure he doesn't mess this one up.
Wants the world to see. All right, a couple of 2/2s attack. And a 1/1, why not? Harrison taking 5 down to 12. Or thereabouts.
Yep, so he's going to go down to 12. Looks like he has no blocks. He's going to be able to life gain back up. He actually has a couple... Looks like he has at least 2 more targets for that Scavenging Ooze. He has his own life bane and his opponent's Arbor Colossus. So yeah, takes 5, drops to 12.
And
it's another World Eater. That's going to be Polukranos. As we both know, that's not going to be enough here, though.
No,
Harrison
it is
has
not.
the untap and win. It's going to go up to 7 off that Scavenging Ooze.
Night Veil Spectre is going to fly over for 4. And then Gary's going to show up.
And just drain,
For
drain,
8?
drain.
Wow.
Yeah, drains for 8.
And there he is, with his pack of insurance papers.
Did he show the card?
Yeah, he must have flashed it.
Yeah, I was wondering what the 5 mana was there. All right, so first game goes to Harrison Knight. He is up 1-0. This match is playing for top 8. These players were in 7th and 8th going into the top 8.
High stakes.
There were 9 players at X and 1, so there's just enough that this match had to happen.
Oof, that is unfortunate.
All right, but let's move to their sideboards. This has been a matchup that Harrison has been. I talked to him just after this last one. He said he's been winning all day, and I think I see why. Speaking of someone who's playing red-green, this to me seems like a very difficult matchup for the red-green player.
Absolutely. I mean, Doomblade is good against green creatures to start.
Yes. Yeah. Thoughtseize is very good against the deck too.
Absolutely.
And has main deck Lifebane zombies.
Main deck Lifebane zombies and like a fast clock, so you can't just draw out of it with your Hitmaker, with your high density deck.
All right. So given that, what does Rob do in the matchup? What does he have access to?
Well, we have some Mizium Mortars and Mistcutter Hydras, Stormbreath Dragons, a bunch of cards that are like have applications but are probably not good enough.
Yeah, Stormbreath Dragon there seems to be something I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
It's not... It can't get Lifebane zombied. And the fact that it has haste and flying, Harrison's deck's pretty soft to flyers. So I think, obviously he has to not have the Doomblade for it, which is
But you have
difficult.
you have no choice but to overload the Doomblades anyway, right?
Yeah, you have to just play into the Doomblades and hope that Harrison runs out.
Yeah. We have two Nelia's Disciples. Those are not for this matchup. Rorik Thar is definitely an option. Polis Crusher, probably not. And Sylvan Primordial, probably not.
So he really just has 3 more large things to board into here.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a Mizium Mortars matchup, as the 1-for-1 removal is kind of playing into Harrison's game plan.
Yes, I agree completely. It looks like the Rorik Thar for sure, and then potentially the Stormbreath Dragons. I like your arguments. I think that's probably a good thing to bring in.
Yeah.
Not sure what you're bringing out, but all your cards are kind of the same. It doesn't really matter as long as you're not cutting, the important ones.
And so the other match, I had the opportunity to see Harrison sideboard for this matchup.
Okay.
He chose to board in, he has a Golgari Charm, an Ultimate Price, a Devour Flesh, and a Farika's Cure, which he brought in all for the matchup.
Interesting.
I think, especially because he's on the draw, Farika's Cure tends to be pretty good against the mana creatures. It also has applications against Scavenging Ooze and Burning Emissary. When you're actually on the kill everything plan, it's probably good enough. The question will be what he boards out in the matchup. And I'm not positive what he boards out. His deck's really tailor-made for the matchup. He could board out I was gonna say Underworld Connections, but I'm not.
If you're on the kill everything plan,
yeah, I'm not sure what
good.
comes out in the matchup. Abrupt Decay is a little weak.
Okay.
But if you're boarding in Farika's Cure, Abrupt Decay seems good.
Yeah, Decay is like a cure that kills Domri Raid.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any card in his. So I'm going to go through his main deck, and I don't know if any card I dislike in this matchup. He has Thoughtseize, Abrupt Decay, Ultimate Price, Nightveil Spectre, Reaper, Grey Merchant, Scavenging Ooze, Desecration Demon, Lifebane, Whip, Underworld Connections, and Hero's Downfall.
All those cards sound really good.
Yeah, this is why it's a great matchup for Harrison to start out with. I mean, that was his whole deck list, and his whole deck list sounds great against green creature decks.
I guess you probably shave. I think 4 Abrupt Decay and the Cures might be a little too much, so maybe you don't bring in the Cure. Oh, he only has 1 Cure?
He has 1 Cure.
Yeah. I mean, the cards that strike me as potentially mediocre are like Scavenging Ooze and Reaver, I guess?
Yeah, but Scavenging Ooze actually in a matchup where you're removing all your opponent's things, like say he gets a Scavenging Ooze up to 6/6 against green, that's a really hard card for green to deal with.
That is certainly true. Yeah, I don't know.
So I think,
just cut lands, it's
fine. Yeah, just cut lands. I don't know.
Just cut lands and go on the draw.
Yeah, it's possible Nightveil Spectre may not be that good. That's a card I'm not thrilled about.
Yeah, I could see that coming out. Although, you can cast your opponent's cards, which is always tempting if you have Nightveil Spectre.
I think, actually, in hindsight, that's the card I think I want to board out. Because it doesn't interact well with green creatures. It's a little small.
It is small. It pressures Planeswalkers okay. And it can give you some free cards, but it is a little small, and it obviously matches up poorly against Arbor Colossus. That might be the cut.
All right, so both players on 7. Rob Nobles gets to start off on a turn 1 Elvish Mystic. Always a scary play, but Harrison has the defense here. He's going to have a turn 1 Thoughtseize. So we see what was kept. It was another Mystic, a Pelucranos, a Garruk, a Nylea, and a Forest.
Well, ramp and big hitters.
Right. So there's a couple options. He could take the Elvish Mystic here.
Try and Mana Screw him, get underneath before he can get to 4. That is a possibility.
So there's that. I mean, what do you like here?
I think it's so hard to beat the God. I think that Garruk is a little far off. You got a little time. Pelucranos is just a guy that dies.
Can he ignore the God if he kills everything else? Like, does he have, can he, what if he just lets Rob play it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that is a plan. If you're, all right,
Okay.
he does like taking the God. That is certainly a plan. If you have a lot of removal in your hand, you can just take Garruk and, play the long game that way. I think that's reasonable. I don't think that trying to Mana Screw him by taking the Elf is, a path to victory. But we do see Rob drawing a Mizium Mortars there, so he does decide that is a thing for this matchup.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the red source. Right now, those 2 Elvish Mystics, this is all the mana he has right now in play. If Harrison has Golgari Charm, which would be right now, that would be like a game over play.
How brutal would that be?
I don't think it's happening. No, plays Mutavault.
Definitely not off of Mutavault. I like how he has Forest, Mutavault, and Nightveil Spectre in his hand. That's
a little awkward. But the draw for Rob is an Arbor Colossus, which he cannot cast. So there's
This is
really only
just-
one play here. That's
Yep.
going to be Polukranos.
He eats worlds. Deal with it.
And it
I will deal with
yes,
it.
immediately pays the ultimate price. So, the Dies to Doomblade argument once again showing up. As you said, the draw for Harrison there was a Lifebane Zombie.
All right, more uncastables. Yeah.
I think so. His hand is Whip of Erebos, Reaper of the Wilds, Hero's Downfall, Night Veil Spectre, and Lifebane Zombie.
All right, so super awesome cards that he can't cast.
Nothing he can cast.
Yeah.
I mean, a Swamp off the top is really gas right
Just
now.
opens up his entire hand.
I think if that next card's a Swamp, Harrison's just like clear sailing from here.
Yes, agreed.
And the draw is Voyaging Satyr by Rob. So it is his 5th land source that he needs, but not. It's going to be a sleepy land.
Yeah,
It's going to come into play tap.
With Suspend 1.
And the question for Harrison will be, can he hit that black source this turn? And he does not. He hits Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Not ideal.
Yeah, now things are going to get a little dicey for him.
Yeah, it was. Ooh.
Things are going to get really
That is
bad.
a big game.
And so the draw for Rob was Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. Right now, it's a fair card.
It's a break-even card.
But remember that the card in Rob's hand is Arbor Colossus. So things are going to get out of control really quick here. And it's going to start with Garruk, Caller of Beasts.
That's the start.
That's the start. The Garruk hits Burning Tree Emissary, Polukranos, and another Garruk. So it can't draw the Garruk, so it just draws 2. Remember, the Burning Tree Emissary, when you have a Voyaging Satyr and a Nykthos, actually creates mana. It creates 4 mana when you play it.
Yes. Which is nonsense.
And this may be in the game. Harrison drew another Hero's Downfall that turn.
He needed to draw the black that turn to deal with Garruk, I think.
Yeah. Now this is... I bet Rob can kill him this turn.
Yeah, I would not
I
be
wonder if he could
surprised.
kill him. It's close.
If he minused the Garruk, I would be fairly confident he could.
So he gets on that Garruk, he gets Sylvan Caryatid, Voyaging Satyr, and Elvish Mystic. So all 3 of his mana rampers. Like, you actually can't kill him because he doesn't have cards that... He has a lot of mana creatures, but he can play everything.
Yes.
So we're going to watch this in action. Burning Tree Emissary into Burning Tree Emissary. So remember, still 2 mana floating. His Devotion to Green is now 9. So that means the Nykthos is tapping for 7. So with the Voyaging Satyr, he currently has access to 16 mana.
That's all?
That is all at the
Okay.
moment. Now, yeah, so the first activation there, it's going to be, so now he has 9 green. Don't worry, the second activation is going to be for more. It's more than 9, because he's going to cast some things in between.
In between, right?
So Arbor Colossus drops him down to 3 mana.
Oh, well, we must
Oh,
miss the mana.
No, Arbor Colossus is 5, so now he's down to 0. So Arbor Colossus and Polukranos
Oh,
spends
yes.
9. Arbor Colossus, in monsters is for 6, it casts for 5.
So now...
He can't play, no, he has 2 Elvish Mystics and the Voyaging Satyr, so he can restart
Yes,
with
he
another
restarts
Nykthos.
with 9,
His
10,
devotion is
12,
14.
13, 14. Yep.
So it's 14 more mana to use.
Can't even cast an Emrakul. What is this?
No, not yet. If he has another Burning Tree, he could cast it, but no, he can't cast Emerald. Wait, no, if he had a Xenagos in his hand, he could start making even more mana.
Looks like he just passed, actually.
Yeah, well,
Which-
Harrison hits the black mana. That's
I don't want to say
That's a
too little too
thing.
late, but...
But his opponent does have 7 creatures in a Garruk in play now. Oh, Lifebane Zombie. Okay. Well,
This is actually smart.
he's learning more about learning for game 3.
Yep, he now knows that Rob Nobles thinks that Midgame Mortars is good and has it in his deck, post-board.
Yeah, so information actually was gained there.
Yeah, that was actually valuable information.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to die this turn.
Yes, certainly.
And a second Nykthos turn.
Oh, man.
So
Hold on, let me get my calculator out.
No, okay. So we can do this. It's not that bad. So it's 4.
Do you have an abacus?
No,
How are you
just
doing all
do it in
this?
your head. So right now, the minimum he can make is 2 activations of 12 off the Nykthos, plus the third Nykthos he plays is 36 mana. So he could, at that point, go to... He could do X equals... With 36, he could Arbor Colossus to 30. Arbor Colossus Monstrous, and Monstrous the Polukranos for 14. So that's already... And then it eats the Lifebane Zombie. So that's already 9 That's 28 damage just from the Arbor Colossus and the Pelucranos if he plays nothing else.
All right.
But this is way more fun just to see how much you can do, and I really hope he does it.
Of course. I'm glad Harrison's letting him go off instead of just conceding.
Just go to town.
Tap it again.
I mean, technically, in between these activations, you could cast. You should cast all your little mana dorks.
Yeah, because you're getting 2 more activations after the first, so you're actually generating
a mana.
Yep.
If you want to be as efficient as possible, you should probably also plus the Garrick when you start.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, you could draw Burning Tree Emissaries, which those just create a lot of mana.
Oh, yes, they do. All right, tap an Elvish Mystic. Pelucranos is going to eat some worlds.
Yeah, he's going to monster for 1 million.
Gonna need some more dice, kid. There we go.
So he monsters the Pelucranos for, for 17. And that should be a lethal attack.
Oh, interesting.
And it is. Yep.
How much life do you start at this game again? 20? Okay.
These decks make a lot of mana. Just a ton.
Nykthos is a real card, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It is the bee's knees.
It is really strong.
Would you go as far as to say that Nykthos is the cat's pajamas?
I don't know. Cats don't usually wear pajamas. So
maybe not your cats.
Well, you can give your cat pajamas, but the cat's usually not very happy about it. They don't play along very well.
No, they do not.
They like try to run from the pajamas, which doesn't work because they'd be on the cat.
They end up with pajamas, and I end up with scratches on my hands.
All right, so moving on to game 3. That was actually a game where I felt like Harrison was pretty far ahead until I saw him brick on that 4th land.
Yeah.
Like, up until that point, I was just thinking, all right, I think he's going to get this one with a 2-0.
His hand looked so good, and Rob's start was so mediocre. And then, man, did that turn around. Yeah, he whiffed a land, and Rob drew Nykthos.
That's if you're Rob. I'm wondering if Rob re-sideboards on the Midgame Mortars here.
It's possible.
I think that's the reason I don't really like them in the matchup. Is like, look at them that game. Even if Rob has the red, which he did, I guess, off the Caryatid, like,
yeah,
they
and
just
the
looked
burning trees.
It just looked terrible there.
It just did nothing. Yeah. Like, I understand not wanting to get hit by a Night Veil Spectre, but
there's an idea that you could overload the Midgame Mortars and take Harrison's whole team.
That is definitely a possibility. But again, is the game really going to play out in such a way
Does Harrison care about his creatures?
Yeah, making overloading worthwhile?
I mean, if you kill his Grey Merchants and
after they've already drained you
zombies. I mean, for all you know, he has a Whip of Erebos in play and is very happy that you're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you. Not a big fan of Mortars here. I think that the Rorikthar and then I guess the Stormbreath Dragons is all I would have sideboarded. Over sideboarding is like a pretty common thing because you think of the ideal situation.
Yeah, so you think, hey, Mortars, you'd say, hey, Mortars, he did just play a couple Night Veil Spectres against me. Mortars is a perfect answer.
Exactly.
And you're like, I need Mortars.
Yeah, but you don't think about how, an average game is going to play out and how that card's going to play out in that type of game. Especially because the games play out so differently, post-board, pre-board, play versus draw, etc., etc. There's so many factors that if you're only looking at one thing as to why a card is good, then you're probably not looking deep enough.
All right, so this is a game 3. This is round 10, game 3. This game to determine whether Harrison Hite or Rob Nobles will be making it into top 8. Remember,
pressure on.
Pressure on. Most of our top 8 here is actually set. This was, I believe, table 4. So
okay.
Tables 4 and 5 are playing. 1, 2, 3 did not.
Okay, so they're vying for those last 2 slots.
Yep. And you'll see Harrison choosing will be on the play for this game. That gives him a lot more outs to Harrison, a lot more play against things like a turn 2 Domri.
Yes. Things that would otherwise be nigh unbeatable, he can actually combat from the play.
I do see 2 swamps in his hand as he's fanning it out.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
It's a good start. He's not going to repeat the mistakes of last game, but Rob cannot keep.
All right.
Harrison will be up a card. Or they'll be on the same number of cards.
Right. I would say that the Green-Red Devotion deck has a a much harder time mulliganing.
Yeah, it still does, and I know that I've been nitpicked a bit for saying this over and over, but I still think it plays a lot like a ramp deck.
Yeah.
And I would say of all the archetypes in Magic, ramp is on the list for decks that mulligan the worst.
Yeah, it's like ramp and rock.
Yeah, so rock's all 1-for-1s, so you just lose your ability to 1-for-1 when you mulligan.
Right.
Which I guess that's kind of what Harrison is, right? He's a rock deck.
Yeah, I guess so.
So neither of these guys, they both just really want to snap keep their sevens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Rob does like his 6, and we are underway. Harrison with a swamp. Rob?
Yeah. So Rob, he has a turn. Looks like he has that turn 1 Elvish Mystic.
Right on time this time.
Harrison draws Farika's Cure off the top that turn.
Convenient.
Convenient. The question, he actually chooses to Cure. He had a Devour Flesh there. Yeah, Cure is probably correct.
Yeah.
So he goes up to 22.
Flesh can kill much bigger things.
Yeah, and that's, you talk about invaluating cards in their best case scenario and the dangers of it. Well, that was the best case scenario there for him.
Yes.
So Rob will replace the killed Elvish Mystic, then plays a Temple of Abandon, and he will ship the card to the bottom. Looks like he has a pretty decent keep there. He has an Arbor Colossus, an Nylea, and 2 more lands. So he has threats, he has ramp.
Strong hand. Definitely does not want to get Lifebane zombied here. I'll tell you that much. Stone Rain is also pretty annoying.
And Harrison's going to Devour Flesh on the Elf. Now, the question is whether or not Harrison has another land to go with. And I do not believe he does. Once again, he's getting punished on the lands front.
Well, Rob is a little flooded, but he doesn't mind too much. He does have 2 fairly sizable threats that he's waiting to deploy. Another brick.
Another brick. And Rob's going to just casually build his way up to that Garruk.
Yep. Who needs to ramp? Just play lands.
And Nylea hits the table for Rob. Harrison's still on 2 lands. There he goes, hits a 3rd land.
All right.
Back in the game with Overgrown Tomb. And the Lifebane Zombie's going to hit just in time. Rob does have an Arbor Colossus in hand.
Yeah, huge. Absolutely huge.
Now, Harrison's got to be a little wary of that Garruk. If he has a Thought Seize or something, he needs to fire it off as soon as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, really, if Harrison can just draw lands, this game's fine for him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to get the god active in this type of game. Oh, Bluegranos is a nice little start there. But Harrison, as long as he has removal and then maybe some reach.
Yeah, he does have, I believe, at least 1 Gray Merchant, possibly even 2.
And I think I saw an Ultimate Price as well, and there's his 4th land, so...
Back on track after, was that a double brick for him?
Yes, he missed twice.
So he has Reaper of the Wilds. Instead, he chooses to cast Ultimate Price.
Good choice.
Yep, hits with Lifebane Zombie. Hits Rob down to 18. And here's going to be the thing, whether or not he has a way to deal with that Garruk once it comes down. He has 2 Gray Merchant of Asphodels.
All right, Domri Raid, bit of an awkward draw.
Yeah, Domri normally excellent in this matchup. This is really a terrible board to have Domri on.
Yeah, this is not the board you want Domri on. But it's still going to come down, and plus, give Rob a little peek.
See if he gets the card. He does not, but if you're Harrison, that's probably noticed that it's most likely that land he hasn't taken.
Yes. It could theoretically be another Planeswalker or a Mizium Mortars, but it is, if you're playing the numbers, it is more likely going to be the 6th land for the Garruk.
A huge draw for Harrison there. He drew Hero's Downfall,
which now has Garruk written on it.
Yeah, so this gives, I believe this gives Harrison a turn to cast Reaper of the Wilds.
All right, so you start by attacking Domri, and now you can play...
You get to play your
creature. There you go.
And now you wait. So Harrison's hand, I believe, is 2 Gray Merchant of Asphodels and a Hero's Downfall. There's land 6, and it's an untapped land.
Yes.
Yeah, Reaper of the Wild's great. This card is pretty good in the all-removal strategy of Harrison. Lots of Scry 1 opportunities.
Oof, we see more reasons Mizium Mortars is not good.
Wow, Harrison, huge upside there. Rob's plus off Garruk only hit a Burning Tree Emissary and nothing else.
Yeah.
I cannot begin to say how good that was.
Yes. At least Domri got...
Yeah, Domri
was better than Garruk.
Domri was better than Garruk there on drawing threats. So So Harrison's going to be able to take out both Planeswalkers this turn. And you know, we're talking about that plan of ignoring Nylea, looking more and more real.
Yes. Well, when your hand is all removal, it becomes a lot more realistic.
So Harrison's strategy, if you look at his hand here, once he hits his 5th land, he has 2 Grey Merchant of Asphodels and a Whip of Erebos right now.
So you go just combo kill mode?
Yeah, you can just chump block. You can just kill. Yeah, you can drain for a lot.
Yes.
He's going to go. Looks like Lightbane Zombie takes out Domri Red. Reaper of the Wilds takes Rob down to 14. It's a clear showing that here comes the downfall of Guruk Primal Hunter. And that's exactly what it is. Now there was a chance there that he could have played the Whip and attacked and killed the Guruk and given Rob one more turn with Domri. I think I like the way he played this out.
I think so too. You don't want Domri fighting like the god on your Reaper or anything like that.
Yeah, that's you're right. And it gives So Rob casts Burning Tree Emissary into Burning Tree Emissary into Arbor Colossus. That's gonna turn on Nylea.
Yep.
It's 5 green devotion right there. Nylea swings in for 6.
Yeah, I believe it's 6/6. There we go on your screen. 6/6. Indestructible. Other creatures have trample. 4 mana. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
All right, so Harrison's still bringing on that 5th land, but he's not bringing on his answers. He has an Abrupt Decay and an ultimate price here. So, price for the Arbor Colossus.
Scry.
So now he's going to find, one way or another, he's going to find that 5th land.
Did he upkeep it? That would have been baller.
No, he drew the Abrupt Decay.
Okay. He does put it on the bottom.
He probably should upkeep it. Huh?
Yeah, how sweet is that? Abrupt Decay.
I missed it. I missed it too. I made the same mistake. All right, Burning Tree Emissary taken down by Abrupt Decay. Second Scry. This one's on top. I think judging. Okay, so my read on this would be that the first card was like a really good removal spell, and Harrison was tempted to keep it but said no, and then the second card was a land.
That's probably about right.
So Rob, unable to stick a threat, now down to 7. Those Grey Merchants are going to be a problem for him.
A problem insofar as they're going to kill him.
They're just going to kill him. They're just
going
to direct damage,
and
kill him
there's nothing
to
you can do about it. Yeah.
That is a problem,
yes,
right? Okay, accurately described then. Thank you.
All right, Bluegranos comes down. He may eat worlds, but he can't stop Gary, the traveling insurance salesman.
Actually, it's not even the Grey Merchants what will kill him. It'll be the very first one, and this should be it. The Reaper has Intimidate. And Harrison's not going to waste any time. Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Kaboom!
Drains for 5. 19 and 2, and all it will take is a turn sideways of the team, or just the Lightbane Zombie. And that will be it. All right, Harrison Hite wins 2-1 and earns himself a spot in the top 8.
Very awesome.
And actually, with that win, so if you